I'm 22 years older than the average person who dies in this country. And it's been a pleasure.
Get ready to hear the extraordinary story of the 101-year-old Mike Fremont. He is a retired engineer and a lifelong athlete who began competitive running after a colorectal cancer diagnosis 3 decades ago. A true warrior, Mike holds 4 marathon records and lives life to the fullest at 101 years old. Join us as we discuss the dietary, exercise, and mindset tips that have turned the Centenarian into a champion and a beacon of hope. Michael Fremont was born in Cincinnati, Ohio on February 23, 1922. He graduated from Yale with a degree in mechanical engineering and was a competitive wrestler all throughout college. And yet, Mike will tell you that he was always a sickly kid, underweight, and asthmatic. In fact, the Navy rejected him because of this, which perhaps was a blessing in disguise, as it kept him from serving in World War II. After graduating, he started an engineering business, fell in love, got married, and had 3 kids. Mike's life was smooth sailing until his wife died suddenly of a brain hemorrhage when she was only 29. A distraught Mike was left to raise 3 kids and manage his business all on his own. To ease the pain, Mike decided to try running. He said, "I was very stressed when my wife left me, and I needed to do something every day to take the stress off. So usually I'd take one of my little kids, and she would hold my little finger, and we'd run. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was good for me." Mike's dad passed at 69 from liver cancer. His mom at 70 from a heart attack. And when Mike turned 69, he was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. The doctors found a metastatic tumor in his colon and told him if he didn't have surgery immediately, he would have a maximum of 3 months to live. What Mike did next will shock you. But before we get into that, please remember to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel. While Mike's body might not have been considered suitable for military service, he always had the mind of a warrior. After receiving his diagnosis, he declined surgery. He was going to find another way to beat cancer. Mike later confessed that he always felt that his father's shortened lifespan had a lot to do with his diet. So when Mike returned home from the hospital, he decided to pick up Michio Kushi's book on macrobiotics, the cancer prevention diet, and it changed his life forever. Mike combined the dietary tips he acquired from Michio's book with his exercise routine. He spent more time running and less time drinking alcohol and eating meat. Sure enough, he lived past those 3 months, and his newfound hunger for a healthy life inspired him to start competing in marathons. By the time he returned to the doctors, 2.5 years after his initial diagnosis, they were surprised to see him smiling and walking with a spring in his step. Mike said, "The surgeon looked for metastasis in 35 places and found 0. In other words, my macrobiotic diet, becoming a vegan diet, becoming a whole foods, plant-based diet, killed the metastases." The results of the diet have been perfect, and it has been since that diet that all my world records have come about, as well as such distinction in the US. Mike did eventually have his initial tumor removed and has been cancer-free since he was 71. That's 30 years ago. Mike is a testament to the power of resilience and hope. He fought an extraordinary battle against all odds and won. The Centenarian attributes his victory to his plant-based diet, consistent exercise, and an appetite for helping others. Mike says there is no question in his mind.
Absolutely, it is diet that has to determine my existence, my continued existence, and my beautiful health.
That note, let's look at what Mike actually eats. The Ohio native's meals consist primarily of vegetables, soups, whole grains, fruits, and nuts. From reading Michio Kushi's book on macrobiotics and practicing it himself, Mike is a huge believer and advocate of a plant-based diet. He's living proof that changing your diet can dramatically alter your health, including, in Mike's case, curing himself of cancer. He places a lot of importance on his food since, in his words, an unhealthy diet and stress are the 2 things that can kill. Mike knows that plant-based foods have more fiber, vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and other nutrients that decrease the risk of DNA damage to cells. For breakfast, Mike prefers a bowl of oatmeal with blueberries and syrup. He usually likes to have a cup of assorted fruits on the side as well. Believe it or not, beans are Mike's favorite food. He tries to eat them often and in as many ways as possible. However, the centenarian likes to mix it up where he can. He says, "I eat a lot of whole grain bread, rice, oats, and other cereals including corn, potatoes, sweet and white, but no grease. I also eat tofu, onions, greens including kale and chard, carrots, canned beans, fresh vegetables such as asparagus, peas, lentils, string beans, bok choy, mushrooms, oat, hemp, and almond milk, oranges, grapefruit, and grapes. Occasionally some form of tofurkey as part of a sandwich." Plant-based diets have been shown to reduce the risk of obesity and cardiovascular disease. Mike can also attest to the fact that his disciplined diet helped to clear up decade-old skin issues and also reduced arthritic pain in several of his joints. Mike is enjoying his vegan lifestyle to the max. But it's not just his diet that makes him extraordinary. Let's take a look at Mike's exercise routine and the world record-setting activities that have put him on the map. No doubt our guy does a lot of cardio. Mike's been running for 65 years and holds single-age world records in marathons. Yes, we said marathons, for ages 88 and 90. He also holds single-age world records for half marathons for ages 90 and 91.
For my age, I'm practically number one.
Amazingly, Mike says it's never been about the records, recognitions, or accolades. He says he runs for fun, companionship, and good health. He understands the emotional, mental, and psychological benefits of a good run. Mike has always used running as a stress reliever, helping him overcome some very difficult periods in his life. Until the age of 98, Mike would run 10 miles 3 times per week. Now at a jaw-dropping 101 years old, Mike still manages 5-mile runs 3 times per week. He has no plans to break any more records, but he also has no plans to stop running. When he's not running, Mike enjoys canoeing and actively competed in the sport for 60 years before retiring in 2022. His Elderly Paddlers Association has won several competitions at local and national levels. If you ask Mike why he loves canoeing so much, he won't hesitate to tell you about how it helps increase the strength in his torso, legs, and arms. But Mike also has a deep love and respect for the health of our rivers and waterways, and has devoted a good part of his life toward waterway restoration. He knows our rivers play a vital role in the health of local ecosystems and provide a source of recreation and serenity for people of all ages. Canoeing can be a great way to relax and free your mind from all of life's worries. Just when you think this running grandpa can't be any more amazing, come to find out he regularly does 400 push-ups 3-4 days per week, and he can knock out sets of 10 pull-ups without much of a sweat. At 101, Mike remains active, keeping his bones strong and his mind sharp. In speaking on what it feels like to be his age, he says,
"These, believe it or not, are the very best years of my life."
What do you think of the incredible Mike Fremont? Let us know in the comments.